Thank you for hanging out with me today. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. Check out the website behind me with the new, go to AfroEconomics.com and click chat now. You will be able to actually communicate directly with the AfroEconomics team. They are ready. So if you have any questions right now about how to register so that you can be hanging out with me, with others in the webinar room, definitely do that. That allows my participants that I'm looking at that I can ask them questions. I can do polls, and I got a big poll I'm going to do this weekend on Sunday. I'm going to do for business owners. I have the AfroEconomics Let's Talk Business on Sundays at 3 o'clock, so don't forget. And the Wednesdays, webinar Wednesdays, thanking God for you all that this has been sustainable for all these years. I think this is like the third year of every day at noon, and it started with conference calls, and technology is just been used up to the point where now we can live chat back and forth with each other. You can go in your computer and click to raise your hand and ask me questions and chat with me. It's amazing. And at the same time, I'm looking at Montel Hicks and Janice Green and Ms. Edwards, all on Facebook at the same time. So it's a blessing. This is a great opportunity to get financially empowered without leaving your seat. You can even call into the phone number when you get the webinar link. You can call in the phone number, and nobody at work needs to even know what you're listening to. You can just listen to me talk about these ideas for doing well by doing good. And I just want to raise your consciousness with today's discussion about some things that you may already be doing. You know, that it's about social responsibility. You know, that we talk a lot about boycotts and stuff like that. We'll go, don't shop there, don't buy there, or you know, when we're making movements, we're showing our social responsibility. You wouldn't realize that there's actually like almost $9 trillion of money under management that is directed at socially responsible management strategies. Yes, like this is huge. People are trying to say, I want to direct my resources and I want to make my earnings off companies that do this or don't do that. So this is definitely your consciousness, your desire to do the right thing and to do well by doing good and to continue to support your values, that you are buying and investing according to your beliefs. It is not only something that you're thinking about, that is something that is being done by thousands of people and trillions of dollars. 1 out of every $5 that is under professional financial management is directed into some strategy of financial responsibility, according to a report by the Forum for Social Responsible Investing that they did in 2015. And they actually put out the report in 2016. So those are some pretty good numbers, that there's a lot of dollars going into investing according to what your desires are. So much so, I didn't even realize that, that it had become that popular. But I know that AfroEconomics itself represents my firm's commitment to social responsibility and building up a community that has been underserved, my Black community that has been underserved. And there is a huge financial disparity between the majority and the Black community's position when it comes to wealth. And so AfroEconomics is about changing that. It's about changing that and making us healthier and wealthier. There are 10 principles to AfroEconomics, and we're broadening our definition of what wealth is. Like this morning, I put a post on my Facebook page that said that if we can force these companies that are putting up these huge, beautiful dialysis centers in our communities so that they can, make sure that they get that Medicaid money, if we can make them put up playgrounds and fitness centers and natural produce centers in our communities, then maybe our community wouldn't be dominated with their centers. And I know one area where I actually spent a lot of my young years, actually one of the prettiest areas, one of the prettiest places, one of the nicest buildings is our grocery store that used to have fresh produce is now replaced by a dialysis center. Beautiful, huge, nice dialysis center, but there's no grocery store there now. You know, so I mean, why is it that, oh, there's another grocery store, you know, farther down, increasing the needs that you got to have a car, or you got to have some money, you got to spend some money to try to just get to your good natural food. That is disappointing. But that's my position. That's my position. That is where my position, my ideology is. That's my belief system. So it would be, you know, highly unlikely that I would invest in anything that goes against my ideology. I'm going to look for things that have my investment ideas. I'm going to look for things where we can benefit, especially when I'm talking about building my AfroEconomIcs 10. Now, I have an investment management portfolio that is the AfroEconomIcs 10 that is made up of my 10 top stock picks, my 10 stock publicly traded stocks, put them into the portfolio, and these 10 companies that I feel that are friendly and supportive and build our community, and at the same time, we're spending a lot of money there, and we should benefit from the money that we're putting out by becoming owners of these through their stock. So how to participate in the earnings that we're creating for them. We're building these companies from taking our income and spending all that money there. Then I feel that I have a responsibility to my communities to create a portfolio that says, this is where you're spending your money. How about you get some of that money back to help you build your future, help build the wealth within our community. So hence was the root of the AfroEconomIcs 10. You can take it farther. Would I allow a company that is under investigation for civil rights violation to be in my AfroEconomIcs 10? Definitely not. Could possibly something like that sneak through? Yes. Would it be very disappointing to me and the investors in it? Yes. You know, those are the things that happen with social responsibility investing, that you constantly have to be on the investigation tip. You know, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot more management time. You have to keep up with it, a lot more research, you know. So when you're talking about social responsibility funds, then the management fee or the fee that you pay for those portfolios might be slightly higher because it's requiring more work out of the investment managers that are operating it. So definitely think about that, and think about what you're doing individually, what you're doing as an individual investor. So my key talking points were to say, like I just went with it. Let me make sure I have it. Is that we have to establish what our criteria is. In general, social responsible investing has this criteria that's known as the ESG, which is for environmental, social, and corporate governance criteria. So someone might say, I only want stocks in that, or the manager will only choose stocks that are in that portfolio that are environmentally friendly. You know, what is environmentally friendly? Well, you have to get their definition of what's environmentally friendly. Like, you know, they might say they hate coal, or they hate, you know, utility companies in general. A lot of social responsibility funds say that, you know, because of what some utility companies are doing or their impact on the environment, they don't like them. So they won't be in that particular fund or mutual fund or exchange traded fund. So you have to, like, what is their definition? What is their social criteria? You know, their social criteria may mean, like, how is their actual impact on their community? How are they involved in their community? How are they impacting society in general? Are they a terrible company that's dumping toxins into the environment because of what they do and things like that? And then I'll go back to environmental, but also it has that social impact. And then their corporate governance of how they actually make up their board. Is their board, is it inclusive? Does it have Black people on their board? Does it have women on their board? What is important to you to be on their board of directors? Do they have Black men on their board? You know, what is their corporate style? Do they give back? But these are, you know, things that that would be included in the description of the particular investment and how it was chosen. And then, so what you have to decide when you're talking about being a socially responsible investor is what is important to you, indeed. And I'm sorry y'all. I get talking and I'll stop and I don't get a chance to look at your comments. Thank you so much for hanging out. And then it doesn't like update on it. That's why the webinar is really important. And thank you for your feedback. So what is important to you? Is it important to you to, if you were selecting stocks, to invest in companies that actually had a high number of Black employees, or do they have civil rights criteria, or do they have a commitment to civil rights of their employees, or do they have good paternity and maternity leave? Do they have a commitment to the community? What are they doing for the community? There are some companies that have great commitment to the community, but their product may be toxic to the community. You know, it's funny. Like there could be this huge, you know, situation there where, you know, they sell this, you know, really terrible product. Now I don't want to say a product because then I don't want, because that might not even matter to someone. So, but if there might be some product that this particular person says, oh my goodness, you know, anything plastic, let's just say that's an example. They produce plastic and I hate plastic. Plastic's bad for, you know, that might be their criteria, but they do a whole lot for community. So, but if community is your emphasis, you might say, well, I can overlook the plastic because of what they do for the community. But the bottom line is socially responsible investing. You have to decide what your criteria is. So, and I think even more so, and we really overlook this really often, that even more so than on my side of the business where we're deciding on what stocks and what investments you make, which is very much on, I know I want to get a company that does the right thing, but at the same time, you want this huge financial reward. That on even more importantly is, where do you spend the money that you spend every day? Where do you spend your money? You know, that is an investment into that business. That you might say, well, I don't want to invest in them, but then you buy that product all the time. You look in your kitchen and you're buying it all the time. So, you're really, you know, defeating the purpose of it all if you're continuing to spend money somewhere where you feel is outside of your basic beliefs as an investor. So where do you spend your money? You can make, as a socially responsible investor, you could say, I spend money with companies that have good civil rights commitment, have a good diversity commitment, which includes hiring Black people, because there's so many, you know, companies like with the high-tech companies that the government was investigating, they had like very little to no Black people that they were hiring, but they still said we have a very diverse community. So we have quickly become like a minority, but the insignificant one. So we have to really stand up for that and become socially conscious of the fact that we count too. You know, put your hands up. That you know, what about Black people getting the training, getting the opportunities, getting the included in these technology jobs and the training that's available? So is it a company that is committed to training all people, including Black people? So the bottom line is making sure that you get an understanding with social responsibility is what is being socially responsible to you. And even if you're at you're the bulk of your investments, you say, I want to be socially responsible, I want to do some things, you can say that I take a percentage of the earnings that I make and I put them into community events or community organizations, or that you did whatever the earnings that you make on the portfolio that you can't choose. So you might be in all just index investments, but of the indexes and what their return is, you do your socially responsible investing by taking a percentage of those earnings and you select what community organization you want to support. That's important too. That is, there's quite a movement in some community development funds that are being developed that I would like to learn more about and find more of them and see, what they're doing, because I keep reading about it, but I don't, seeing it. And maybe that's something that I will have to do. But I am extensively regulated, and a lot of that stuff I can't do as an registered investment advisory firm. But you certainly can do more and develop things where you can build things that go directly into your community and into things that are important to you. So definitely take this time to inbox me, ask more questions, continue your commitment to your community, to continue to investigate what is going on, even at where you work. Investigate, like if you're putting they're giving you portions of their stock, like what is their standing? How fair have they been? Have they been aggressively zero tolerance when it comes to the Black community, but more tolerant of other communities? Have they been hiring? Have they made a commitment to hiring, women? Have they made a commitment to hiring Black people? Have they made a commitment to hiring Black men and training Black men? Like, what is important to you? Make sure that you stand up for that and that you express that, and that even before you talk about where you invest, make sure you're conscious of where you spend your money. Check out AfroEconomIcs.com and click chat now so that you can definitely communicate with the AfroEconomIcs team. If you are a business owner or a business owner, tell them about Sunday. Tonight, I'm going to be at Mount Tabor Black Baptist Church in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Mount Tabor. So definitely check it out. And they've been having financial topics all week. My topic, they had like estate planning issues. Mine is talking about the 10 principles of Afroeconomics, and then they're going on for the rest of the week. So you can contact us in the chat on the AfroEconomIcs.com for more information. My team has all of the details, or you can call the church directly. Please share this video, y'all. Let's empower everybody. Continue to be socially conscious. God bless you. I'm J.B. Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at J.B. Bryan Financial Group, the home of Afroeconomics. God bless y'all.